Hi there and welcome to another video from HEGARTYMATHS. In this video we're going to talk about addition, and in particular doing addition without the carrying method. So what I'd like us to be able to do at the end of this video is evaluate, that means work out, sums as such as follows. Now I just want to go through what the carrying method is first of all. With the carrying method we would usually write our numbers in columns, so 747, and we would say add 254, and we've put them in columns because this here is our ones column, this here is our tens column, and this here is our hundreds column. Okay, and we would put a line underneath and we would add these up as follows. So what we would do is we would say 4 add 7 is 11. That's 1 1, so we put down 1 1 and 1 10. 11 is 1 1 and 1 10. So we've got 1 10, 4 tens and 5 tens, which is 10 tens. Now 10 tens are 100, so we put down the 0 and we carry the 1 here to represent 100. 1 and 7 is 8, add 2 is 10 again, and that's 10 hundreds, which is 1,000. So we would effectively put down 10 here, which represents 1,000. Now that method is fine if you understand that method. It works out well if you understand. Sometimes I have an issue with it because it makes us forget the value of the thing we're carrying, and it makes us just think of them as adding numbers together, and it doesn't always make us think of the value of those numbers. So I just want to show a different method today, just to something that might make us think more about the value of the numbers. Also, I want to show you how to do it mentally. Right, so here's my first question for you. 741 add 234. Firstly, there's no carrying in this one. But here's my place value written out for me, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to write it in columns like I did before. So we have 700s, 4 tens and 1 1, and we're adding 200s, 3 tens and 4 ones. I'm going to put a line under it just as I did before. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say I'm going to add 4 ones and 1 1 to get 5 ones. Right? Now I'm going to add 3 tens and 4 tens, which are 7 tens, which are 70. And now I'm going to add 700s and 200s, which is 9 hundreds. And now I'm going to add them at the end. So we've got 900 add 70 add 5, which is clearly 975. Now you could have done that obviously the carrying way. I just think it sometimes helps us understand the place value slightly better. Now in my head actually I wouldn't have done something like this written down, so if you feel like you're comfortable to think about what you do in your head, this is what I would have done. I would have started with the 741, and in my head I would have added on 200 to it because I have to add 234. In my head I would know that's 941 because adding hundreds is easy. And then I knew I had to add another 34, so I would do 941 add 34 in my head. Now I know that 41 add 34 is 75, so it must be 975. And I could do those processes in my head after quite a bit of practice with numbers and a good feel for numbers. So whichever one you feel comfortable with, you can work through. Right, let's have a go at one that does involve, or would have involved carrying before. So we have 747, so that's 7 hundreds, 4 tens and 7 ones, and we're going to add to that 254, so 5 tens and 4 ones. I'm going to put a line under that just as before. Okay, now 4 ones add 7 ones is 11 ones. 11 ones are 11. 5 tens plus 4 tens is 9 tens, which are 90. And 200s plus 700s is 9 hundredths, so it's 900. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add these up. Now 900 plus 90 is 990. Add 11, well, add 10 is 1,000, and then add the 1, so it's 1,001, just like that. Okay, so for me, this method, although it might look a bit longer, it helps you really understand the value of the digits in your place value, your value of your digits in your addition. Now, I would have done this in my head again, so if you feel like you could do this, be my guest. 747 add 254. That's what we're trying to work out. Now, what I would have done something a little bit different here. I would have thought of this as 750 because that's an easy number for me to deal with. So I would have effectively added on 3 in my head, remembering at the end that whatever I do, I have to take off 3 because I've made the answer bigger. And this here, I would actually bring down to 250 because that's a nice easy number for me to deal with, and I would have to remember at the end to whatever I do add on 4 to make up for the fact that I've done that. Now 750 and 250 is clearly 1,000, and I've got to take off 3 and add 4, which is the same as just adding 1. So I know the answer is 1,001. So that's how I would have done that in my head. Right, let's have a go at another example with decimals here. 7.47 add 25.4. So we've got 7 ones, decimal point, we've got 4 tenths, and we've got 7 hundredths. And we've got 2 tens, so 25, so 2 tens, 5 ones, and then we've got ourselves 4 tenths here. We've got no hundredths, notice that, so it is important how you write it. So 7 hundredths plus no hundredths is clearly just 7 hundredths, so we've got 0.07. 4 tenths plus 4 tenths is 8 tenths, so we've got 0.8. 5 ones add 7 ones is 12. It's 12 ones, which is just 12. And lastly, we've got 2 tens added with nothing else, and 2 tens are 20. So we could add these all together. And 20 add 12 is 32, add 0.8 is 32.8, add the 0.07, we would have 32.87. And doing this in my head, 7.47 add 25.4. Well, what I might have done here is I might have actually thought to myself, this is a bit like 7.5 add 25.4. But remembering what I've done is I've added 0.03 here, made it bigger. I could work that out pretty easily because 25 add 7 is 32, 0.5 add 0.4 is 0.9, so I'd have 32.09. Remembering though that I've made my answer bigger by 0.03, so I'd have to take that off at the end. So that should have been a 9 there, sorry. It should have been 32.9. And I'm going to take off 0.03, so the answer would be 32.87. Because that would really be like 32.90. Taking off 0.03 would be 32.87. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to try some questions yourself. You could try using the column method without carrying, or you could try doing them in your head, and in 10 seconds I'll give you the answers. And here are the answers to the questions. So have a look through there, check you got those right, and check you understand how to do that. So thanks very much for watching this video. Do tune in to the next one on subtraction without borrowing, because I think that's where this method really comes into its own and might help in your learning. So thanks very much for watching.